other information that they require on the job. So the theme of this program or this mentorship program is none other than developing the next generation of Muslim professionals through effective mentoring. Again, the theme of this mentorship program is developing the next generation of Muslim professionals through effective mentoring. And we've got a lot of experts. We've got 3 experts that are going to be taking us through this. First off, we've got Engineer Nasser Giwa, whom we are going to be introducing much more along in the program. And we also have Dr. Sulaiman Ogumoiwa, who we are also going to introduce as we move on. And again, we have Mrs. Bimpe Afolabi. We are also going to be introducing her. So you are all welcome, and we hope that this is going to be a rewarding engagement for all of us, and as well going to be a turning point for every one of us who aspire to be an effective professional, Muslim professional, of course, inshallah. So having said that, I'm going to quickly move along to speaking to the program of events. The first thing for us is to have the opening prayer. And in order to have the opening prayer, I'm going to be calling on none other than Engineer Neymot Moili, who is also joined us and also a member of the committee for this event. Engineer Neymot, please, if you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself to give us the opening prayer. Thank you.
Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gift of life. We thank Him for His wisdom to guide us to the path of Al-Islam. We pray that He continue to shower His blessings on the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, His household, His companion, and every one of us. We pray that He accept this as an act of ibadah from us. We pray that He guide us, the organizers, the mentors, and the mentees to that which will be beneficial for them in this world and the year after. We pray that it will be a success. Today is just the beginning. We pray that we count this as many of such to come. And we pray that He gives us the wherewithal, emotional, physical, and the spiritual capacity to make this a success. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim. Ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Ma, for that wonderful opening of this event. And while she was giving us the opening prayer, she prayed that this is going to be the beginning of course, a good future for all of us, both the mentors and the mentees. And I believe, inshallah, today is going to mark the beginning of a much more greater achievement for both parties. While the mentees are going to be taking reference from today to say, oh, I started this, I joined the mentorship program of GMP, and it has indeed shaping my life. The mentors as well will be able to count to say that I was able, on the platform of GMP, I was able to mentor so people, a number of people, and this is where they are at the moment, inshallah. And at that, I'm going to quickly move to the next thing on the agenda, which is for us to have the recitation of the glorious Quran. And to do that for us is none other than one of our brothers who is here present in person of Brother Yusuf Oyeniko. Brother Yusuf is going to be taking us through the Quran, trying to lay a foundation for what we are here for. And he's going to be reading for us both in Arabic and translation, Surah Al-Tawbah, that is Quran chapter 9, verse 71. Is going to be reading to us the importance of mentorship and also the benefits of mentorship and why, as Muslims, why we need to remind ourselves, to guide ourselves, and as well to be a role model for one another. So, Brother Yusuf, if you can hear me, which I believe, can they unmute yourself and give us the presentation of the God's Quran? Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والمؤمنون والمؤمنات بعضهم أولياء بعض يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر ويقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة ويطيعون الله ورسوله أولئك سيرحمهم الله إن الله عزيز حكيم. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, the believing men and believing women are allies of one another. They enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong, and establish prayer and give zakah, and obey Allah and His Messenger. Those Allah will have mercy upon them. Indeed, Allah is exalted in might and wise. The word of Allah is true.
Allahu Akbar. Indeed, the words of Allah are true. May Almighty Allah accept this recitation and make it a worthy one for all of us to learn from and as well to implement, inshallah. And that actually lays the foundation of what we are here for today, inshallah. Trying to look at how we are able to mentor ourselves, the young one, and how those that are leaders, Muslim professionals who have made it, excuse me, how they are also able to replicate their good behaviors, their professional characters, and how they are able to guide the young ones to also achieving the greater success. And at that point, you may be wondering, you want to know about what GMP is all about. Basically, some of us may already know about GMP, while some may find it new or hearing about the GMP for the first time. So GMP is basically a Muslim non-profit organization, which is non-tribalistic, basically focusing on trying to enjoin exclusively, creating an exclusive platform for Muslims in the area of networking, also in the area of mentoring, which is part of why we are here today, building of icons and entrepreneurship among members. And again, use of Muslim professional is basically being propelled by its core values, which basically speaks to ready to work with all organizations, individuals, corporate bodies, local and international, that share the mission and vision of trying to raise the bar of Muslim professional across all frontiers. And these they've been doing for years now. And I can also testify to some of these activities that they've always been doing from time to time, and which part of it is why we are here. And for us to move on the agenda, I'm going to immediately call on the chairman of the BOT of Field of Muslim Professional, who is going to be giving us the welcome, or you call it the keynote speech, to welcome all of us to this event and also give us an overview of what we are going to be doing here today. And that is going to be the opening remark by none other than Mr. Akim Oyewale, who is the chairman and BOT of Guilds of Muslim Professionals. You're welcome, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sumishe, for the introduction. And I welcome everybody here that has joined us this morning for this mentoring session by the GMP. Just like the moderator said, GMP exists to ensure that we're able to meet that vision of ensuring that we are one of those entities that are able to influence and determine how we Muslims behave in the next few years, especially as professionals. We want us to be proud that we are professionals, but more importantly, we want us to be very, very influential in our activities in the society. So that's really what GMP is all about. Now, this morning, we're going to be spending some very valuable time with some of our brothers and our sisters as well, taking us through the mentorship program of the GMP, of the Guild of Muslim Professionals. I would like to start by appreciating all the mentors that have agreed to speak here today. Dr. Gumiwa, Engineer Giwa, Hajia, Bingwe, Afolabi, we think that we cannot appreciate you enough. For sparing your time to be here with us today, we are really, really grateful. Thank you so much. Now, for members that are here, or people that are here to actually learn and benefit the mentees, I also thank you for finding the time or creating the time to be here. A story I normally tell people, is what I was told by a colleague of mine some years back. And it's very simple, but it has influenced me a lot, and I'm sure it has influenced a lot of people as we've developed in our careers. The story goes thus. My colleague, said to me, do you know that, Akim, if we are given a task, of touching the roof, just a normal roof, and you are a 16-year-old, there are multiple ways you could touch the roof. One of the ways could be that you wait till you are tall enough, wait for a few more years, then maybe perhaps you'll be tall enough to be able to just raise up your hand and just touch the roof. Another could be for you to jump up, and perhaps your hand might allow you to be able to hit the roof, which is the assignment. You may decide to pull together a couple of blocks, a couple of chairs, a couple of tables, and try and stand on them and hope that you don't fall down or you still touch the roof. You could now also decide that, hey, I have another brother here, maybe a bit stronger than I am. Why can't he just allow me to just rest on his shoulders, sit on his shoulders? And voila, you are touching the roof. That usually is the most successful or least intrusive or least dangerous option. And you're able to achieve your assignment, your task very quickly. Now, I would like to liken that shoulder of your brother, to the mentorship skills you are about to acquire today. It's very, very important that you must realize, that you are able to achieve more when you listen to guidance from mentors. And that's what you're going to benefit, over the next few hours. So I will appeal to you to please take the time to be focused. I will ask you to ensure that you participate, and benefit from the quantum of experiences that this gentleman and lady have acquired over the years, that they're about to devolve to you, for literally a pittance, literally free for you. So please take your notes, take your pens, take your systems, and pay attention. Now, the other line I would like to add very quickly is this, and it's also a short story. There are two stories, but they're similar. So the first story is a story told by one of our brothers as well this morning, where he said that his wife was scolding the son, that you are too lazy. You woke you up to pray for Subway. It was a difficult task. He just came, you prayed, and he went back. I don't know what's wrong with you. She went on and on. Then she now turned back. The boy did not answer. Then she now talked to the husband. I was even trying to correct our son. You are not even answering. You are not even contributing. That one just said, Madam, I will sort that. So he went later to meet his boy. That why were you doing what your mom was accusing you of doing? Why did you wake up so late? Why do you look so tired? They said that I did not sleep early. I slept around 3, 4 a.m. Why? What were you doing? The trainings that I went for, where I was being taught how to code, I just stumbled upon a job in the US where they needed some people to code for them remotely. And that's what I was doing. And they were going to pay me, and I was just doing it for fun, but I didn't know time had passed. So that's a well done. But next time, just make sure you do 1, 2, 3 things and all of that. Now, the boy did not get the right mentorship from the mom. We are not speaking about whether the mom was right or not. But the point was the mom was not patient enough to understand what the boy was doing and to be able to give him the right mentorship skills. So you have the opportunity this morning. Pour out your hearts to this gentleman and lady that will be guiding you, and try and get the best guidance. The final story that I will share with you is something that we all must have seen last year or early this year, when the former president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, was giving awards, national awards to some Nigerians. And he gave the co-founder of Paystack, Ezra Olubi, an award, a national honor. And he was staring at him so intensely. He was shocked at the way Ezra was dressed. He just could not believe it. In his mind, this was a wayward child, dressing a guy, dressing like a boy, dressing like a lady, lipsticks and all of that, earrings and all. Now, here in this mentorship class, you are not going to be judged. You are going to be guided. So I need you to have an open heart. Ezra is doing what he likes, but it's in the current time and season, and that has not stopped him from achieving his potentials in the IT world. You could have an issue with the way he's dressing, but that is judgmental calls, and that was really the highlights of the ceremony as well. People were not looking at their awards; they were looking at how Buhari, who is old school, was not able to align a successful young man with the dressing. But that's judgment. But he still found it worthy to give him these honors because he was due for the honors. So I'm saying to you here, please pay attention. This is the Guild of Hospital Professionals. This is also a professional platform. We're going to be speaking to you and guiding you strictly from a professional perspective. So feel free to come out with your biases and listen and get the proper guidance. With these few words, I would like to welcome you again. I would like to say to share my extreme appreciation to those that have put this together, because it's not been easy over the last few weeks and months making the plans for this. I thank you so much, Jazakallah Khairan. I would also like to thank those that sponsored some of these participations as well. But most importantly, I would like to thank again the moderators and the speakers that are going to speak today. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, the POT chair, Mr. Akim Oyewale, for that wonderful opening remark. And on that note, we are going to dive straight into the conversation. If you are just joining, you are welcome to the Guild of Muslim Professionals. This is the Maiden mentorship program, which is aimed at giving our Muslim youths the best mentorship platform. It is not going to end at this webinar, but this webinar is the beginning of the journey. And to move straight to the next thing is for us to have the first lecture, which is going to be taken by none other than Engineer Nasser Giwa. If you are wondering who Nasser Giwa is, I was privileged to be on the panel session with him as a moderator, of course, just 4 days ago. And I was thrilled at how he is so humbled. And somebody called me and said, "This is Nasser Giwa." I said, "Yes." "This is Nasser." I said, "Yes, this is Nasser Giwa." And that really gave me an inspiration to be humble and to remain so humble, even whatever you think you have. Currently, Nasser Giwa is the coordinator, Bua Refinery and Petrochemical Limited. He is the founder of NG Energy Limited. Nasser Giwa is a renowned expert in energy and power sector in Nigeria. He is a top-notch strategist, and he has been instrumental to the success of operation of many multinational energy and power companies, including Siemens Energy Limited, Solar Turbine Services Nigeria, and Tractor and Equipment Nigeria Limited, which is now the Mantrac Nigeria Limited, with extensive experience in strategic leadership, corporate policy formulation, and technical innovation in this industry. He was listed as one of the 60 most influential figures in power by the ESI Africa in 2015. He has also received the Key Contributor Award by Solar Turbines in Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Again, Nasser Giwa is passionate about driving sustainable and accessible energy generation solution on the African continent. Nasser believes the future of Africa's power is in renewable resources, vis-a-vis water, wind, and solar energy, and has founded NG Energy Limited to meet these needs. Again, you may want to be interested in knowing that Nasir Gua is a current registered engineer. He began his management training at UAC of Nigeria PLC, pardon. He was also certified by the Advanced Leadership Program facilitated by INSEAD under Siemens at the Global Leadership Center in Germany. And again, Nasir Gua is the founder of Nasir Gua Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we are very honored and humbled to have you, spare your time to take this task in helping to shaping the journey of we the youth. And he is going to be speaking to us basically on the topic, developing the next generation of Muslim professionals through effective mentoring. Sir, if you can hear me, I believe kindly unmute yourself and you can have the floor now. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome, sir.
Abdul Hakim. Well, I was
yes, sir.
I said, oh, I'm seeing him again today.
Thank you, sir. It's good to have you.
When you started, I was wondering, oh, is it me he's talking about?
It's you, sir. You're most welcome. We're happy to have you.
Thank you very much. Let me greet my brother, Abdul Hakim Oyewale. Good to see you, Hakim. Let me also start by appreciating the Guild of Muslim Professionals for inviting me to this event, and indeed for giving me the opportunity to speak on the topic, on the theme of this of the Maiden mentorship program. I think I have to share my screen. Although I sent the slides earlier. Okay, it's this one. Okay, so. Okay, so who is going to share the screen? Am I to share my screen or you will present my slide? I couldn't share my screen.
Okay, I think it would be better you share your screen.
Okay, so you have to make you a host. Yeah.
Yes. So I think we are fixing that. Mr. Lukman, kindly make Engineer Nasir a host so you can be able to have access to share your screen.
Okay, I'm still waiting
Okay. Mr. Lukman, can you hear me?
For someone to enable me.
Please kindly make Engineer Nasir a host. Okay, you can send it to me, sir, while I quickly do that, while we are waiting for him to fix that.
Yeah, so I would have loved to be able to, so I can.
Yes, so you can control and move with the flow. Yes.
I'll keep telling you next class.
Okay.
I actually sent the slide to architect Latifa Olajide, but I would prefer to be able to share my screen.
I'm trying to fix that. Right now.
But you can do it. You can also, if you are a co-host, you can also make me a co-host. You are actually, yes, you can also make me a co-host.
Let's go. I can't do it on my phone.
I've been trying to, yeah, I'm trying to do it too, but it seems the main admin, the main host is the only one. Okay. Has he been able to do it?
No, he hasn't.
Okay, yes, I'm able now. I can do it now.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sorry for the delay.
Oh, okay. Share. Huh? Share it. Optimize the video clip. Okay, I don't know if you can see my screen now.
Clearly, sir.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So, again, I want to thank the Association of, Guild of Muslim Professionals for the opportunity for inviting me and for the opportunity to speak at your meeting edition. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope I'll be able to do justice to this topic. It's a topic very dear to me, and I must also congratulate you for going into this venture. This is one of the ones that Allah will reward us for, inshallah, on the day of Yom Al-Qiyamah. I pray that Allah will make it a success. Thank you. Okay. So, to do justice to this topic, I prepared an outline. So today, I hope within the time provided, I'll be able to cover all these areas. Alhamdulillah, Abdul Hakim, I've been able to tell you who I am. So, and my career journey, I don't need to repeat that. So we have saved 2 slides already. So I will move on to give definition of who mentors are and best practices for mentors as I see it, and why we must maintain or keep maintaining an Islamic environment. I will also provide success story to further elucidate on the topic, and then talk on the youth who we are all told are the future. When we are young, we are told we are the leaders of tomorrow, and today is tomorrow. We are not yet the leaders. I don't know what's happening. I hope the youth of today will indeed be leaders of tomorrow. Then talk about our shared responsibility, visions for Muslim professionals, and a call for action. We'll start with an opening hadith, and inshallah, we'll also close with a closing hadith. So let's start with an opening hadith, which speaks to what you are doing today and you intend to do going forward. The Prophet ﷺ said, the most superior among you Muslims are those who learn the Quran and teach it. And this was narrated by Uthman bin Affan in Sahih al-Bukhari, book 66, chapter 21, hadith 1. So yeah, Abdul Hakim, I've done justice to this, so I don't have to repeat it all over again. So we move straight to the topic, which is I want to talk about the definition and role of mentors. I'm sure you love my pictures. You will find more pictures from my mentorship platform. So I don't need to take special permission to share this picture because apart from me, the other 2 people, they are my mentees. They are part of the NGM mentorship platform. So what is mentorship and why is it important to us? I want to use NGM as an example. So at NGM mentorship, we see it as a relationship between an experienced individual who we call the mentor. So apart from me being the grand mentor, we have other mentors on the platform. And those we can say they have less experienced individual because of course they are just fresh graduates from universities, or they are students in the universities, in the various universities, or they are just starting their career, early stage career. And it is aimed at providing guidance, support, and knowledge sharing. That's what the platform does. So at the NGM mentorship platform, mentorship is crucial because it facilitates professional growth. It accelerates learning. We do that in various ways. I'll be talking about it as we move on. And it also cultivates culture of continuous improvement. As you can see, happy face, happy mentees in the picture. So the goal of Muslim professionals, you want to go into mentoring, and today is your Maiden mentoring session. What must be noted is that there are key duties of a mentor, and that is important to note, that a mentor guides. It is in the course of the guidance that you also will serve as an advisor to a mentee. So guidance and advising are key role of a mentor, followed by motivation. That motivation is the fuel, is the energy that the mentee requires to keep moving on. And finally, you provide an holistic support for the development of mentee. Everything about the mentee, you provide the support. There is no no-go area when you develop relationship with a mentee. And when we started, Lakin mentioned something which is very important that most of us as parents fail to do. That means we all move quickly to judge our children, unfortunately. We do not give them opportunity to express themselves. We quickly go into judgment. We accuse them of being lazy and what. It's the same thing in mentoring. We are in providing holistic support. You have to understand and be patient with your mentee, and then guide. Because what you want to ensure, what you want to do is that you don't want the mentee to also go through the rough path that you have gone through, because you've seen it all. And as such, you want the mentee to have a smooth path. You want the mentee to avoid repeating the same issues, the same challenges, the same problem you face, but rather you want the mentee to replicate those things that in the first place help you in the course of your journey. In this case, is going to help in fast-tracking the journey of the mentee. Before we go on, alhamdulillah, since we are all Muslims, so let's take a break and look at mentoring relationship among Sahaba and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The relationship between the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions is an excellent example for all mentors, aspiring mentors, to learn from. So we have a lot to learn from, and that is a topic on its own. So I will not go into much details about that, but to point your attention to the fact that in embarking on mentoring journey, we need to also take some time to study about the relationship between the Prophet and the Sahaba. So we actually prepare them. And today, we Muslims, over 1,400 years thereafter, we are still having the knowledge as if we were there during the time of the prophets. And this is what we also want to achieve. We want our children to be able to stand on their own, to be able to do well after we have long gone. So how does it work at NGM? Mentees are the driver of their own success in NGM. That's the way we operate the mentee-mentor relationship in NGM. At NGM, there are various groups. There are various teams that we establish that enable the mentors and the mentees to identify with fellow mentees, or indeed the mentors, who share the same values or who share the same aspiration with them. And within the group or the team, they are able to express themselves, they are able to put into practice, they are able to experiment or practice their leadership skill. And that is working so well because we have seen mentees sometimes acting as mentors. I can give you an example of that sometimes my mentees are my mentors. So in all, you have to be the architect of your own journey, and you are mentored with a goal in mind at NGO. So in order to enhance your career, you can enhance your career using mentors. And in doing that, you have to be the project manager. Mentees will have to be the project manager. Mentees will have to be at the driver's seat. It is not for the mentors to be looking for the mentees every time. Have you done this? What have you done today? It is the mentee that we have to ensure he has a consistent time or period that he engage with the mentor. And in return, the mentor, we have to commit to devoting certain period within a month or within a year. And of course, there will be time that urgent discussion or scheduled discussion we have to take place. So on note of that, let's move on to talk about qualities of an ideal mentor. Knowledge and wisdom is the first thing a mentor must have. It is that knowledge that you are passing on, and it is that wisdom that you are now using to manage your mentee. So you must be very vast in a particular area before you can come forward to say you want to be a mentor, because it's that knowledge, the special skill that you have that you want to pass on to the mentee. Now, with that already established, a mentor must exercise a lot of patience and be compassionate. And I started the example given earlier on by Akim Oyewale. So in that particular instance, the father, in this case, the husband, rather than rushing into judging the son, decided to take the empathy approach, put himself in the shoe of the son, that if I was in that situation, would I like to be scolded like that by my mom? So it spoke to him, he listened to him in a compassionate way. And at the end of the day, he saw that, okay, he has a very good reason for doing what he has done. And what is the best way to mentor such a person is now to advise. Maybe next time, if you are working that late, maybe you try to stay on till Fajr, then you observe your Fajr, then you go and sleep, something like that. So patience and compassion is one of the best attributes a mentor can give to the mentee. Then you lead by example and with strong faith, because you cannot be saying one thing and be doing another thing. That will not be a mentor. Listening, quality of listening is critical for a mentor. And the mentor must also be able to offer personalized guidance. You have to understand the fact that there are no two people that are the same. So you cannot relate with people the same way. You have to treat each person differently based on each person's peculiarity. And in engaging the mentee, it is not, you should never rush to concluding that you already understood what the mentee is talking about. So active listening is one of the things that we are all short of, unfortunately. We pretend that we are listening, but we are already thinking about the response to give. So if if you really want to if you want your mentee to always look for you, the mentee must know that, yes, this mentor, if I talk to him, he will listen attentively, and he will be able to also not only listen, but appreciate and understand from where I'm coming from. Then finally, celebrate the mentees, their growth and accomplishments. As you can see in the picture, smiling faces. When you do that, you are further encouraging them. You are further energizing the mentees to do more. Always be part of their and be proud to show it to others, to share with others, and let it be done not behind the mentee. Let the mentee know that everybody appreciates me and my mentor and everyone else, and everybody is proud of me. Then what do you think will happen? The mentee will certainly want to do more. So, what are the benefits of this venture that we call mentorship? For mentees, it provides guidance to avoid pitfalls. It provides motivation in realizing their potential. And this is very important for now and for the future. And for you as mentors, it gives you a chance to share your knowledge and give back as Sodaka to the society. And what do we all have in return for our community? We'll be developing leadership and talents. Perhaps if we can do that more and more, maybe our country in future will be better than we are having it today. Everybody has concluded that our number one problem in Nigeria is leadership. So if this is what we can contribute to the community, then we'll also be helping our future as we retire and as our youth take over. So that said, my brothers and sisters, let's also talk about how can mentorship impact you personally and professionally. Mentors offer guidance, support, and motivation, and you foster self-confidence and personal growth for the mentees. While professionally, mentors provide industry knowledge because you possess it. You've been there 20 years, 30 years. You expand networks for the mentee. It doesn't have to spend 20 years, 30 years to have the level of network that you have, and you learn skill in doing that, leading to career advancements and access to opportunities for the mentees. Overall, my brothers and sisters, mentorship offers a wealth of personal and professional benefits, empowering you as mentor to achieve your goals, further broaden your horizon as mentors, and then excel in your chosen field. To go into mentorship, or for those of us that have been in this for so long, I think we must all tell ourselves the fact that there are best practices if we must succeed as a mentor. And I think I mentioned part of this earlier on. One, you must establish rapport and trust with mentees. You must set expectations, but then those expectations must be realistic. and goals early on. From the onset, that's very important. Then tailor your support to mentees' needs and interests. For instance, I remember one of my mentees I started with. It was about to enter the university when we started the mentee mentorship relationship. And we agreed from the onset that at the end of each academic session, he is going to go into various industry for internship. So by the time he was completing his 5 years engineering program, he has had minimum of 5 internship. He had more than that because even during the short holiday, he would have some internship. And by the time he was there, it was so vast in different areas. So it's easy for him to make a decision where he really wants to, where he would like to, settle eventually after graduation. So that was a very easy decision for him to do. So from the onset, that expectation needs to be set. And it was agreed that, okay, you are going to the university and our target is that, inshallah, you must aim to make a first class. And alhamdulillah, he achieved that as well. And I remember one of the mentees telling me he wanted to study medicine, but he couldn't get medicine. So he got, they gave him agricultural science, and he said, and we agree, if you cannot do if you cannot get what is big, then you do what is big with what you have. I don't know if you understand me. If you cannot get what is big, what you consider as what is big, which is medicine in this case, then with the agri-science, do what is big with this. So what does that mean? Meaning that, okay, if you cannot get medicine, this agri-science is going to come out as the best student. And he did it. It came out as the best student. So you set from the onset, you set the expectation and go early on, and the tailor. So you can see different mentee, different goal, but at the end of the day, all aim at towards achieving success. Again, I want to repeat that you have to balance advice with active listening. Active listening, you will also learn from that. Is the best gift you can give to your mentee, active listening. Well, maybe this is a special gift. You have to recognize mentee strengths and then encourage growth. Maybe not everyone can do that, but it's important. We study our mentees and then appreciate their strengths. I spoke earlier on about, or I gave an example where I said each mentee must not only the mandatory, must go for not only the mandatory internship, but other internship at every opportunity, any short holiday, any other day. So that creates opportunity for the mentee to grow. And in all and above all, my brothers and sisters, encourage Islamic practices through various programs as well. At the NGM platform, where we have our programs, we read books, because leaders must read books. If you must be leader, you have to read books. And in doing that, we also ensure that we read Islamic books that will also serve as motivation. If I tell you that it's easy and it's all rosy relationship between mentees and mentors, I will not be completely right. So there are some challenges, but let me share with us today common challenges and perhaps also share with you some solutions that we are tested solutions. Some mentees, you will see, well, maybe both sides, some mentees might not, lack of commitment from mentees, and we can maybe lack of commitment too from mentors sometimes. But I can tell you, it's more rampant on the side of the mentees. And it is for you as mentor to stress the importance of consistency and to also say the fact that the boy of today cheated the man of tomorrow if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do today. Because you cannot go back in time. So another area is communication gap. Maybe it takes long time to communicate. So try to be proactive in staying in touch too. Call your mentees if they are not calling you. Or send, maybe technology has made life much easier with various chatting platforms, WhatsApp and what have you. So we have to be proactive in staying in touch. This is the only way we can further cement the bond. Then mismatch expectation. If on the onset that is the expectation is not clearly defined, you have to realign based on discussion. So use feedback and discussion to realign expectation and goals, whatever that is. And sometimes you might not be making progress. There is no point to continue in the program if there is lack of progress. But you can try to reevaluate first, reevaluate the approach and the goals, and see whether it can be remedied. And if not, maybe one of you will have to change. Maybe you change, you give him or her another mentor. I said earlier on that we need to maintain an Islamic environment. So the mentor must lead with taqwa and exemplary character and infuse Islamic ethics and values in all interactions, because we are Muslims, so that cannot miss. So the mentor must also provide guidance from the Quran and the Hadith, and to do that, it means you yourself must have some of this knowledge. Or you bring in a third party from time to time, occasionally, to help with that, in case both of you are missing in that particular aspect. Then you promote spirituality alongside professional growth. While it is important to tell mentees that you tie your camel, we must also tell mentees that when you tie your camel, then you trust in Allah. We need to, in that order, and we really need to point that out from time to time. Let's take some success stories. Nice picture there. And what's happening here? Yeah, I guess, I'm not sure how many people can guess exactly what is happening here, probably you can guess. The closest you can guess is that maybe it's a wedding. Yes, it is indeed wedding. But let me tell you the story. The two of them are mentees on Nasir's mentorship platform. So we call it in our own language combo marriage. The brother graduated with first class, University of Ibadan, and the sister graduated from the Bells University, first class, also in engineering. And as Allah will have it, both of them mentees, they met, and Allah blessed. And they are happily married today, and they are both based in the UK. So you see, your mentoring is not just about career. That's why I said holistic support. Your mentees can also go beyond career and complete their religion. You as mentor, you are not the one that will give them the religion. Perhaps most often than not, they will have the 50% before you met them. But it is also help them to complete the remaining 50%. And this was successfully done in this case. And we look forward tomorrow. Inshallah. This is the most quoted phrase: the youths are the future. I pray indeed the youths of today are the future. I'm not sure about our own, what they told us many years back, but we are praying. And in order to ensure that the youths of today actually, or they will become the leaders of tomorrow, or they are the future, that is why we are embarking on this venture. It wasn't available during our own period. So immense potential lies with the youths. They are the next generation of leaders. And to make that happen, you are on the right course, Guilds of Muslim Professionals. Mentoring session. So with guidance, community as leaders and innovators. Neglecting their development means we are neglecting our future. So I congratulate the Guild of Muslim Professionals for considering mentoring as a key task. May Allah make it easy for all of us. May Allah grant us success with it. So our shared responsibilities, brothers and sisters. So I'm sure from what I have said so far, we have all, I mean, to be easy for us all to agree that mentorship is critical for preparing youth to lead the human. No doubt about that. That has been well established with some of the examples I've given so far. That we have huge duties in nurturing our future torchbearers. We need to develop and test frameworks from basic to advanced levels. So you have big tasks ahead of you. It's not that easy. It requires a lot of commitments. You have to invest resources in this. It's not that straightforward and easy. You've got to be really patient. You've got to be committed. Your time and your resources, your network. Is a task that we must all do. And the collective achievement of all of us, however small, is certainly greater than whatever we can do as individuals. So collectiveness, collective effort in this will be very, very helpful. So I haven't said all that. I think it's time to look at what Muslim professionals should be looking at as critical. If you like, you can 4-point agenda I'm putting forward. And first of that is that, so I want to understand that the Guild of Muslim Professionals, you want to build a mentorship platform. That is great. That is important. But please note that it's not easy and it's not straightforward. It takes a lot to make it successful. So therefore, you can build a mentoring platform, or you join one that is already existing. You can become mentors for mentees in other platforms to connect and interact. So you all have to collectively decide to offer your time and resources as sadaqah to your mentees. And thirdly, you have to provide resources for your mentees, for your mentee education and best practices. Resources, network. It could be, sometimes it could just be information that ordinarily the mentee will not have access to. But by the virtue of your own network and connections, you have those information which can be easily shared with your mentee. And finally, you must be determined to build a robust mentorship culture for young professionals. You are senior professionals. You must build a robust mentorship culture if you really want to be happy at the end of the day that you ever venture into this special endeavor called mentorship. Finally, let me give this special quote. Give back through mentorship. Your mentees are the shapers and the leaders of tomorrow. Instill in them the right values. Then tomorrow we will all be happy with tomorrow, inshallah. I said we will start with an opening hadith and a closing hadith. Here, say the most superior among you are those who learn the Quran and teach it. This is what our Prophet said. Again, giving us a further reassurance that we are on the right track with the agenda we have set for ourselves. So, brothers and sisters, I'll be happy to answer your questions, and maybe in answering those questions, I'll be able to give further insights and examples. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful presentation. And that has been a very explosive one, because it actually speaks to both the mentees as well as the mentors. So before we break into this session, we are going to take question and answers. And also, while we are preparing to take question and answers, I want to quickly give a quick notice to everybody on this call to kindly please write or rename yourself with your name in full. Kindly rename yourself with your name in full. It is very important for us to achieve that, please. Please rename yourself, check your name, rename, punch on your icon, then change that icon, whatever name it is showing, change it to your name in full. Thank you so much while we do that. So now can we quickly have question and answer? If you have any question, please raise up your hand. It's going to be very quick so that we can catch up with our time. So just signify by yes, I can see Lukman Adewale. Please go straight to your question. Don't go into mentoring us, so we can leave that to our invited mentors. So just go straight to the question. Lukman, you can unmute yourself and ask a question. Thank you.
All right, Jazakumullah khair. I have two questions here. So
Yeah,
the first one, so maybe at some point, maybe there's a glitch between the mentee and the mentor. So what should be the way forward? Then number two.
What do you mean bridge? What do you mean by bridge?
Maybe they disagree on something. So what is expected of both parties to play so as to go forward? So my second question. So what is expected of a mentee to use our mentor?
What is? Can you repeat that question?
Go on.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yes. Can you take the second question, please?
What is expected of a mentee to a mentor?
You mean role of a mentee to a mentor?
Exactly.
Okay. I'll allow an announcer to take the first question, while the second question is going to be handled in the course of this program, so we don't take a lot of time. So, Engineer Announcer, do you want to take that question first? If there's any breach, if there's any disagreement or miscommunication or misunderstanding between the mentor and the mentee, how do they move forward?
Thank you very much for that question. Really, if you are into mentoring, the mentor and the mentee, there will not be really what we call disagreements, but rather maybe they have different opinion. And there will be time the mentor will have to succumb to the opinion of the mentee, because the mentor is not, I was explaining the guidance and advisor thing. In my role, I've never found myself in a situation where I dictate to my mentees. I see myself providing guidance and advising the mentee. And I found myself in a situation where the mentee, while we spoke about a particular issue, and I gave various options, the one I prefer is not what the one the mentee went with, and I was happy with that. Because you should also be happy, the mentor should be happy that the mentee is also able to take decisions. So therefore, it's for the mentor to realize that it's not a boy, big man relationship. It's also not, it's not a relationship whereby go and do this or go and do that. It's a relationship where both of you exchange idea. You are only at an advantage because you've been in it, or for, maybe I've been in it for 30 years or so. So Yoruba will say, "Kosi nti agbalagba le ri lórí ìjókòó." Tọmọdé bá wà lórí Nitel building in Nigeria, Leko may not be able to see it. I hope everybody on here can understand that. So that's
Yes,
just,
sir.
yeah, that's the advantage we have. But with technology, maybe that might not be totally correct. So we're therefore the mentor must sometimes respect the opinion of the mentee. And okay, so that's what you have selected. That's the way you want to go. Okay, let's look at the merits, the pros and cons. So you further have to continue to guide the mentee, but that's what he has selected. Because the success of the mentee is what is paramount, and that is the key objective there. So if you decide to go, I mean, obviously I'm saying this is not something that is harmful. The mentee is not going to something that is obviously harmful, and it's not going into something that is around. No. So we already established that these are not part of you. From the onset of the relationship, the boundaries must have been established. So I'm assuming this is well established already in providing that my response. So
Thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we
the role of the mentee to the mentor? I explained that you are the driver of you. At the end of the day, you are the driver of your own success. You are on the driver's seat. The mentor is not driving you. You are the one driving. He is only, put it this way, your mentor is like the Google, what do you call it? This is our map. Google Map giving the direction, but you are the one driving. You know, sometimes Google Map will tell you to take Third Mainland Bridge, and you will say, no, I will take Eco Bridge. And because Google Map is only seeing it from maybe from information that has been programmed into it, but you are also putting some, because you are deeply involved, maybe you passed through that direction before, and you know that it's still the best direction to go through a coverage. So that is the way it works. So you are on driver's seat. That's the relationship. You are the project manager, while the mentor is there to guide you, provide you with network and the resources to support you with all that. You are still the one who is managing the relationship. I don't know if that answered your question.
Thank you very much for that explanation. And just to add to it is that basically it is not coaching. It is coaching that is rigid. So people mistake coaching for mentorship. So when it is about coaching, that is where you have to do it, as I say, to get this result. It has to do with skills. Okay, do it this way. Do it this way. This is the process at stage 1. This is the process at stage 2. If you don't do it that way, we won't get this result. That happens in coaching. But in mentoring, just like Engineer Nasser said, it's not about being a dictator. You own it. They're giving you experience based on the years they've also been on the job or gathering this experience, and they're trying to tell you it is easy to go this way than to go that way. So guys, the next thing is to have another person. I think I'm seeing somebody else raising up the hand. Okay, Abdurraqib Bello, please quickly make it very fast. Thank you.
Now, for a mentee to choose a mentor, it usually happens that the mentee knows exactly what he or she wants to do. In a situation where the mentee is in doubt, does not know exactly what he or she wants to do, how exactly does he seek a mentor?
So should I answer straight or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before we take the last one, you can answer.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, in selecting your mentor, it should not be your decision alone to select your mentor, and it will be based on so many factors. You have to seek other advice, and it must also be specific to the area, because you don't have to have one mentor. Let's also clear that. While you work in an office, and I will give you an example. You have asked a very good question. While you work in an office, you need a mentor. You will need a mentor about your career. And who is the best mentor for you to start with? A mentor within, if you are working, okay, maybe it can be different if you are working in a small scale industry. Within the small scale industry, if you're working within the small scale industry, yeah, it might be different. But when you are working in a global organization or a very good big multinational, you will need mentor within that organization itself. And in seeking to now select the mentor, you have to select somebody, because you know there is difference between mentor and sponsor. And these two, I want to encourage everyone, you must have them if you want to enhance your career. And I can give myself as a personal example. There was a time we had this, we had a new MD then in one of the companies I have worked. And he came from Germany, and he thought he needs to assess all the management staff, the top management staff. So he told them at the headquarters, perhaps maybe he felt he's not satisfied. So he told them to send assessors. So the company spent a lot of money engaging a professional organization, global organization, to come and conduct assessment for all of us. But it turned out, and they later discovered that he's the one that is not actually, it's not the right fit for the position of the MD. So it's bound, and then it helped some of us because it now projected us to the global organization. Why am I relating this story? But I'm also shortening it because of time. Is the fact that when they got the results, the management then said, how come we have some of these people? How come we have this person here and we don't know about him? So that tells you the importance of a mentor and selecting a mentor within the organization. So the outcome of that was, if I've had a mentor, it will have given me the opportunity. You have projected, because availability is very important in any organization. And you can't do that alone. You need a mentor and sometimes a sponsor who will be the one there to project you where you are not available. So in selecting a mentor, so select a mentor for in the organization, somebody who will work within, who can help you develop and fast track your career within the session or the division you are. If you are an engineer, for instance, you will need someone who within that organization who will also be able to help you with your career development as fast as possible. For instance, I didn't know that my organization sponsors MBA for people at certain level. I didn't know that on time. It was so late before I knew. We are one of the organizations I've worked before. But if I've had a mentor, he will have designed a program for me. He will have designed a 3-year program, for instance, selecting the right mentor within my organization. So then outside your organization, you also can select mentor. You can look at specific. So in selecting your mentor, you look at the areas. You look at what you want to achieve. It is that thing that you want to achieve that should drive who you want to appoint as a mentor. Because you can't completely go and appoint somebody who is not connected to anything you are doing. You will be wasting time, because what will you be talking about? So mentoring is for a purpose, and therefore you must look for someone who can help you achieve that specific purpose. I don't know if that answers your question.
Actually, it kind of did, but the question I asked was that the mentee himself does not even know what direction he or she wants to follow. So he does not even know what kind of mentor to choose. In that situation, what does he or she?
So therefore, the mentee, that particular mentee or aspiring mentee, we have to go and sit with a known mentor and then tell the mentor, that known mentor, not necessarily, that person may not necessarily become his mentor, but you want that mentor or that known mentor to guide him through on how to select his, in that case, the mentor, that professional mentor or that known mentor is going to ask him a lot of questions. And then in the course of that, both of the mentee, the aspiring mentee and the non-mentor will then agree that in this case, this person will be your best mentor. In another case, you can join a mentorship platform rather than just having a one-on-one relationship. In a mentoring platform, then you have the opportunity of mixing with a lot of other mentees and a couple of mentors. And in the course of that, you can easily discover yourself and then pigeonhole yourself into a particular, to say, okay, this particular mentor, I can have further conversation with this particular mentor. That can help. But I'm going further to say that mentoring is not just a general thing. That's why I gave the example about workplace, that you must identify what exactly you want to achieve with your mentoring. You need to set a goal. It is that goal that will drive you to say, okay, this will, and with somebody there to also guide you. So first of all, define what you want to achieve. That's the way to start from. When you define what you want to achieve, then sit down with somebody you know who has been in mentoring activity. You will then be guided through. It is not something you can do just on your own. This is what I'm trying to point to. Do you understand that?
Perfect, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think we can have Musa Dembele. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, and we want to thank the presenter for the fantastic presentation. My question is, at what point at what point do you know that you are supposed to depart or make way, as in draw a line between the mentor and the mentee? At what point?
Draw a line as in that means both of you part
For
ways.
example, when you realize that things are not working the way it ought to be, at what point do you say, okay, you just have to go on your own, or you have to reassign, or you feel this one cannot get the mentorship guide that is expected of him, or something like that? You know,
yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say.
That's very easy. That one is a very easy one. Again, it's not a hiring and firing relationship, really. Maybe you made a mistake. You didn't follow through the steps I mentioned. That first of all, you must define the goal. It is that goal that will drive you, that will be the driving factor, that will be the determining factor of who you select as your mentor. Maybe you didn't do that, and you realize that after you have developed this relationship, but that doesn't mean you are going to stop the relationship. Like I said, nobody says you must have only one mentor. Maybe it's just that it is not working this time. It might work very well next time. Therefore, you appoint another mentor. You can have 2, 3, 4 mentors. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you have a goal in mind. You begin with the end in mind. It is that word that is driving you. And you should be very hungry for it. You don't waste time. If you can select a mentor today, after a week, you discover that it's not going through, then you start thinking about having an additional mentor to help augment the gap that you have noticed. So it's a very easy thing. It's not a hiring and firing thing. I mean, it should create a harmonious relationship. If you are not getting specific thing, perhaps you will get another thing in future from that particular one. So you continue the relationship while you select another one who will meet your specific need at this point in time.
Thank you very much for answering that question elaborately. I think we've run out of time and we have just one person. Niyi, can you quickly ask a question, please? I don't want to leave you without allowing you to ask a question. Please make it very brief. Go on.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Jazakumullah for the program, and we also appreciate Mr. or Alhaji Nasir Giwa. Thank you, sir, for your lecture. Now, my question is that you gave an example that if you find yourself in a workplace, probably a big workplace, a big organization, and it is necessary that you should get a mentor or a sponsor. So my question is that in that part of organization, probably you are a new person in that organization, or you have a kind of career. Probably you need mentorship in that kind of career. So my question is that, this one that we have now is like is an organized mentorship program. So in that situation, how can you initiate a mentor-mentee relationship in that particular big place of work? That's my question.
Okay. in a big organization, first of all, let me say that once you are in a big organization, a conglomerate, a company that has more than one branch, company that is having each number of employees, let me say this, please, again, please do not continue to be in that organization without you having a mentor. Not having a mentor, you are certainly doing a big disservice to yourself. You must identify a mentor within the organization. The mentor does not necessarily have to be your boss. Your boss doesn't have to be your boss, but should be the person you know we all can listen to you. So that is very critical. And you can also, so I'm speaking generally now, I'm not answering your question specifically. I just want to reemphasize the fact that it is critical and it is important you have mentors when you are in an organization. And where it is not possible without your organization, maybe it's not a very big organization, you should have a mentor outside your organization who you know is very vast in the area where you operate that can help you through, that you can always seek his opinion and his advice. This is one of the ways, a critical one for that matter, that you can enhance your career. So if you are not giving that a thought, please give it a thought from today. And if you don't know how to go about it, please speak to people who are into mentoring or people who have gone through the same career as you. Then they'll be able to tell you this is, you'll be missing out a lot of things, because unfortunately for us, when we start, we don't know a lot of things, and people will not hold your hand and tell you a lot of things. And unfortunately, by the time you realize certain things, time will have gone. So let's establish that fact first and foremost. So that then said, if you are going into a professional, it's a big conglomerate, or you are already in a big conglomerate organization, and you don't know about how you go about appointing a mentor, you can speak to somebody outside the organization. And that is why I believe you have a grade of Muslim professionals. That's why you have NGM platform. That's why you have all other mentorship platforms that can help you. In all, it means you have to take the first step. You must be determined first and foremost. Write down what you want to achieve and discuss with the right person, either within your organization or outside the organization. Then you'll be pointed in the right direction. It's as simple and easy as that. The problem we have, we don't engage, we don't communicate. We need to do that a lot. When we meet in the mosque, what do you talk to people? After we pray, we all disappear. We all disappear to our various places. Meanwhile, the mosque is an excellent networking ground as well. Somebody told us how he got married to his wife when he went to go and pray Juma. And he saw the lady, he loved the lady, but he doesn't have a clue about how he can communicate with the lady. So he went to the imam and narrated to the imam what is objective. And the imam helped him, and today they are married. So there are a lot of people praying in the mosque who have different backgrounds. So why don't you communicate with them? I mean, we have so many platforms, so many forums. Let always, when you go to, like the last one is Institute of Islamic Finance. But the problem is that we don't go to any of this forum again. That's the problem. We don't go there. So forgetting that it's not just about attending. When you attend, you network, and when you network, you get contacts, and you stay in touch with those contacts. Sometimes we even get their contract and we forget about them until later. So these are ways and means that we can help ourselves in identifying or navigating in the stormy water in our various workplaces.
And at that, we say thank you to Engineer Nasser Giwa for that great discussion around developing the next generation of Muslim professionals through effective mentoring. He is the grand mentor for Nasser Giwa Mentorship, and he's been doing this for a couple of years. I remember we're on the same panel, I think, Unilag, the annual conference, annual Islamic seminar, sort of, where you came with some of your mentees. That is what I want to point out. You came with all of them, and they were saying, "Daddy, Daddy," and I was pinching you by the side that, "Daddy, I also want to be adopted." Alhamdulillah, and well done, sir. Well done, sir. So, guys, that is it for us. Advantage of we having people like Nasser Giwa in our fold is the fact that they are able to summarize 30 years, 40 years of learning the art, the good, the bad, the ugly, giving it to us within a very short time. And it is now left to us to take note of that and implement them. That is why we are here. And again, that is why the Guild of Muslim Professionals is organizing this event. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. We really appreciate you sharing your resting Sunday with us. We really appreciate that. And on that note, I'm going to quickly want us to move very fast to the next thing on the agenda, which is for us to have the breakout session. And importantly, the breakout session is going to be in two areas. The first one is going to be the mentor session, which we are going to be having Dr. Ogumoyiwa, who is going to be speaking to the mentors. And again, we are going to have Engineer Faid, who is also going to be taking us through the workshop inside the mentor session. And we are going to be having my co-moderator, Aminat Adams, who is going to be moderating that part. And again, simultaneously, we are going to be having the mentee session, which is going to be handled by my humble self. I'm going to be moderating that session, and I'm going to be having Ajay Bimpe Mafalabi, who is going to be speaking to us. And again, I'm going to be having Mr. Otubu, who is going to be taking us through the workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we are going to be having...
Abdulakim.
Yes, sir.
Abdulakim, may I say, so we have two groups mainly. So we still want to retain this main group for the mentees, and the mentors will go to the mentors group. So when we are through at the mentors group, we join back. So the mentees don't need to go out of this general room. It's only the mentors and those of us that are going to the mentors group that will move out to the mentors chat and session.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that makes it easier actually.
Exactly. So Aminat she's on standby. She's ready to hit the ground running. So you are going to be moved to the mentors breakout, while I'm going to remain here. So let's wait for
quick one, Abdul Hakim, quick one. There's someone, Tisila Taufik, is requesting for the links of those platforms. I think when Malam Nasir was speaking, he spoke about certain platforms where you have mentors and mentees there. And I think that's what she's requesting. If those platforms are already available, the links can be shared. So those that don't have a clear career path yet, I just want to be in such platforms can then join easily. I think that's what Tisila Taufik requested.
Yeah, actually, that was why, to make things easier, we leave everyone here except the mentors. So the mentors just go out to the breakout and the mentees remain here with Abdulakim. So mentors, myself, yourself, will go out to the mentors group. And then the mentees will still remain here, and then they can be taken care of here.
All right. So I'm tired of seeing your face, so maybe you have to move to your breakout session so we can continue.
How is the movement happening? Is somebody going to take me out and take me in somewhere else? Engineer Faid, how does that work? I'm looking through and I can't see where to join the mentor session.
Kindly check your screen. You'll see join breakout room. Click on breakout room. You'll see the mentors room. You can join in there, man.
It's at the top left corner of your screen. Breakout room. Mentors, please look at the top left corner of your screen. You'll see a window with breakout rooms. So click on it and
mine doesn't have that though.
Select mentors room.
So if you're not able to see it on the top left, if you click on more, the icons showing at the bottom of your screen, if you click on more, you will see breakout room as part of the options listed.
I don't have it there. Maybe somebody with an iPhone can help me. I don't have it on the top left on my screen. I don't have it on that more. What I have on that more is meeting settings, backgrounds and effects, connect audio, colors. I don't have breakouts anywhere flashing at me.
That's
Should I be signing out and coming back on? Maybe that's what, I don't know. Is anybody else experiencing what I'm experiencing? Am I the only one? My only come.
You are not only the only one, no, I'm with you.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
Please try it again. Please try it again.
Join breakout room has now popped up on my screen. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah.
That's popped up.
Okay, while we are waiting for them to exit the room, I think I'll have to exit Aminat myself at this moment.
So what are the mentees
No, but you
going to
can
be
add
doing?
that to a breakout room where you want that to be.
Okay, so all mentors and all those who signed up as mentors are meant to go into the breakout room for mentors.
Correct.
And the mentees will be doing what, sir?
They will be here and we will continue. So we are waiting for the mentors to leave before we continue our own session.
I'm also unable to move. I just have on my screen that the host has opened breakout rooms. Please wait to be assigned.
Okay.
Okay, so people are being moved already. So let's just be patient a bit to get to your turn. If you are not assigned yet, any of the mentors, please, there will be an inquiry for who is left, and then we can deal with the remaining. Apologies for that.
Yeah, good morning. Brother, I'm answering you. Okay, you couldn't hear me. Good morning.
Are we good to go? I can still see Amina is still here.
I'm yet to get the breakout.
Please, if you have anyone here who still has challenges with joining the mentors room, kindly leave a chat in the chat box. I'll work on that straight on.
Okay. I think Amina is not here again, so she's been able to move to the mentors breakout session. So we can get started now. Yakini Kolawole is raising up their hand. Do we have any Do you have any message? Okay. Mrs. Akinsanya also needs that. Then Afsat Bello also need that to be moved to the mental break room. Abdulhamid Salaudin is also there. He's yet to be moved to the mentors breakout room. Yekini Kolawole, I think, also needs to be moved. Is that correct?
You can continue with your session. I'm checking the chat. I'm working on them totally.
All right. Thank you for that information. And I think at that we are going to get started with our session. Okay, you are a mentee. Kolawole is a mentee. Okay. So at that we are going to start with our own breakout session, which is to have a focused conversation, speaking directly to the mentees, and that is going to be taken by none other than Mrs. Bimpe Afolabi. She's going to be taking us on achieving your full potentials through the mentorship opportunities. I repeat, achieving your full potentials through the mentorship opportunities. In case you may want to know or you are wondering who is Bimpe Afolabi, she's currently a partner, internal audit, governance, risk, and compliance services at KPMG in Nigeria with over 22 years of professional experience. She has provided multidisciplinary advisory service on accounting, corporate finance, governance, and risk management issues. Bimpe has worked with several multinational and local enterprises, including Startup Nigeria operations. During the career, she has engagements with partners on several board appraiser engagements and various. I'm having issues with this with the profile, the way it was sent, but I'm going to pick on some of those things about Bimpe Afolabi. Apart from being an internal auditor, she led engagements on automation of internal audit processing involving continuous assessment and continuous assessment procedure, one of which involved the deployment of digital solution to aid the client with automatic machine and reconciliation. She was the head of quality and risk management unit in KPMG for over a decade and was responsible for the firm's risk management, ethics, and independence policy, processes, and protocol. She's the first Black reviewer to be elected in 2015 as a global reviewer for KPMG International Global Compliance Reviews. She is well known and recognized as an outstanding professional within the global KPMG community. Prior to November 2016, Bimpe was a tax consultant and she excelled as a high performer, having preferred tax compliance solution and advice to several clients. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, permit me to invite and also welcome Bimpe Afolabi, who will be taking us through the topic for the mentees, basically looking at achieving your full potentials through the mentorship opportunities. Thank you very much, Ma, for joining us this morning. And the mic is over to you, Ma. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just want to confirm that you can hear me very well.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are very clear, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's always a pleasure for me to actually come and talk, on issues like this. But before I go ahead, I would like to take a step back and talk more about myself. I know we don't have so much time, but I'll take you through some critical topics that I want you to have at the back of your mind. But before then, I must first and foremost talk about how mentorship has helped me as an individual, particularly working in a Big Four and getting to the position where I am currently the only female Muslim partner in a partnership of over 50 partners, and what that means to be somebody that is known as a Muslim and actually puts on the hijab. So, and that for me, is one thing that I want to say that I was able to achieve clearly through the fact that I had strong mentors that actually helped me along my way. So I work at KPMG. This is my second year in KPMG. I'll start by saying that I studied petroleum engineering. I graduated from University of Ibadan in 2000. So I didn't plan to become a chartered accountant. That was not my plan. But as life would have it, there was a lull in the energy sector. There was a lull in oil and gas when I finished, and I finished well, of course. And it wasn't just easy. And I finished my job. And so I don't know whether that actually counted against me. I wouldn't say so, but there was a lull within that industry, and the jobs weren't there. And being a daughter of civil servants who really did not have that contact in oil and gas, it was actually much more difficult to get in there. So I was doing quite a lot of, I did quite a lot of interviews, tests, and all those things. And then at some point, I came across Anderson. Anderson became KPMG in Nigeria, and I was asked to come for the interview. Of course, being an engineering graduate, the exams were easy. It was just easy peasy for me. And I went in there, I passed, and I was told that I needed to come in for some interviews. But so the question I asked then was, what is the organization that you're recruiting for? And they told me then that they were recruiting for themselves. And I said, do engineers work here? And they said, oh, yes, indeed. Engineers actually do work here. So the first thing I did really was then to look for individuals who can guide me, whether this was really a path that I should follow. And I did. I did actually speak to senior engineers. I had I'd met somebody in the course of trying to get a job. My parents had linked me up with some family members that actually knew somebody that worked in Chevron then. And when I spoke to him about this, and he said, fantastic offer to you. And that was, having to speak to somebody who's worked in oil and gas. He gave the example that, look, professional services is where you are actually baked so well in such a way that you become a thoroughbred professional. And he said that because at some point I was actually thinking of going for my master's out of the country. And then he told me that working in an environment like the Big Four would actually give you that experience, that learning that you want from a professional services organization. So it actually encouraged me to go into KPMG. And I did say that, wow, this is entirely different, going to a place where it is debit and credits that they will be talking about is against pure science that I was used to. And I did say, look, if you put your mind to it, if you're dedicated to it, you will excel. And that was that advice that I went into KPMG with. And today, 22 years after, I can say proudly that it's that session, and it was about 3 sessions that I had with him then, actually helped me. It really changed my perspective to life, and it made me actually become what I am today. The impact of mentorship. I just wanted to leave that on the table with you, why it is always good to have somebody who can guide you. Left to me, I probably would not have joined KPMG. I probably would have said, no. It's either petroleum, oil and gas industries, either something along those lines, certainly not accounting, certainly not professional services. But when I look back and I compare myself to my colleagues, my friends, my fellow graduates from University of Ibadan, and we sit down today and we talk, they look at me and some of them, and I've had it, some of them tell me that, BNP, you were bold, you were courageous to have done what you did, and look at you today. Then professional services firms don't get as paid as those in oil and gas, but because they run a flat structure. And in oil and gas, but in professional services, you rise through the career, you rise through your career. Eventually, you catch up. In fact, you leave some of them behind. That's clearly the truth. But that's not this. Why we are here is not about me. It's about the fact that there's power. There is power in mentorship, and I just purposely, as I've told the story, so that you can see that at the beginning of my career, mentorship actually guided me, and it guided me all right, because this was somebody, and he's retired himself right now. This is somebody that who gave me a perspective. I haven't worked in oil and gas, I haven't interacted with people from professional services firms, haven't seen what it is. He was able to actually tell me, go there and you will do well. So that is the overview of why we are here as mentees, to say that mentorship is actually very good. It helps you to learn. It helps you to take the right decision. It helps you to meet influencers and those that will teach you, and take you through what it is to become better in life. And mentorship is not just about professional services or a profession, about our careers. And just like Engineer Nasir Rufai said, it encompasses everything. And like he has said, you can actually go for different mentors for different aspects of life. I, even at my age now, at my level of career, I have mentors. And all through my career, as I was rising through the ladder, I must say that there were people that I was always, coaching me, mentoring me on how best to actually do some things that will get me to the next level. Typically, my advice to you as mentees, just like Engineer Nasira said, have a hand in mind.
Some of us, and then we sit down, we discuss with it.
I say that.
Can we mute ourselves? I'm trying to identify the person. Sorry for the break. You can go on, please. Thank you.
So you need individuals that would guide you right. Once you have that hand in mind, what is it that I intend to achieve? One thing, there's a question that typically is asked during interviews. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? The reason for that question is so that you start thinking of what you want to achieve in the next few years, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, whatever. Where do you see yourself in the future? That's the starting point. As a professional, what exactly is your goal? Once you can achieve that, you can actually articulate in your mind or even well written somewhere that this is where I want to see myself. Then you can start looking for those mentors that will guide you and advise you and take you through the path of success and give you the tips and nuggets that will get you there. Because it's very difficult to say you can do everything by yourself. It is very important that you have those guiding individuals, those individuals that will provide such guidance. And typically, it's always good to have a combination of those people that are exposed, that are professionally successful themselves. And really, in this kind of a forum, Muslims, I must tell you, I wanted to start my career. He's a Muslim, and he's a successful Muslim as well, an engineer. And when you have a combination of spirituality, professionalism, education, it helps. It really then, the combination is more powerful as against just having somebody who gives you a narrow view of life. And so what I say is, when you're selecting a mentor, you need to take a step back and say, what are my needs? What are my objectives? Who are the individuals that can help me out here? Because we are professionals, we can interact to some certain level amongst the different genders, but I would say that if it's better to go as a female, there are very many female Muslims that are doing well. So look out for those ones. And this is why this guild would also help to connect you. And you can see when mentors were leaving the room that there were both males and females. So as a female, go for the females. It makes it easier so that the peculiarity of being a female can be addressed appropriately. Same thing for the males. The peculiarities of being a male can be better addressed. But in instances, there could be some instances that you could have a mix. And as much as possible, take advantage. Know your needs and go for the person that actually can address those needs. How often, should you meet with a mentor? These are the things that actually depends on what you are looking out for. So when I spoke about my own experience when I wanted to join KPMG, Anderson's KPMG, then it was very frequent. I mean, we met frequently, to discuss. Then there was no WhatsApp, the virtual thing. It was physical. This guy was he was meeting me at his office. I was going to meet him at his home. And it was what have you learned? Anything new? What have you, okay, let me check with this person for you, those sort of things. So because there was an urgent need that I needed to respond to my organization, whether I was taking the offer or not, it was necessary for me to get that quick response. So depending on your needs, the frequency that you are going to be meeting with your mentor would, then be determined. Again, also depends on the mentor. So if you have a mentor who is really willing, I mean, you've heard a lot about what makes the critical success factor for a mentorship program to happen. It depends on the mentor. Once the mentor is available, is willing, there's a whole lot of time commitment here, then you can make it as frequently as possible. But generally, if it's not something urgent and it's something that it's about career building yourself professionally, I would say make sure at the minimum that you meet with your mentor once a month. Once a month will make it easy for you to connect, share updates as from the last meeting that you had, bring in new perspectives, seek clarification as to what you probably missed out the last time or you didn't understand fully well, and then, move ahead onto the next steps. So my advice is to ensure that at least once a month, there is a touch point. There is a touch point. Good for you these days. We are all here. I can see about 59 participants here, including the organizers. But imagine if we were to come together physically, it's going to be more tough. So, but with this whole technology thing, you can meet as often as possible. But at least once a month, that's what I would say. Now, how should you go about it? Once you've identified your mentor, and your mentor, you've actually spoken to the mentor is willing to help you out, you must put a structure. I like structure. And I'll tell you that based on all the speaking events that I've had, over time, I've met a number of young people who have approached me by themselves. We like what we've heard. We want you to help us, we want you to guide us. And I had a young girl who actually approached me about a year ago. And, this is somebody that I just saw after an event, a physical event, and that was it. I don't think we had more than 5 minutes interaction. Today, I know a whole lot about her. And because we ensured that we were meeting I think we started every 2 weeks or every other Sunday, and we would meet as early as 7 and we could go on till 9, 2 hours every other week. Was a way that she would talk about herself, her dreams, her objectives, why she's having a whole lot of issues, doing a whole lot of things. and then I would listen and I would advise. And what I realized that when you have this mentor-mentee relationship, what happens is that you rub minds. Both the mentor and the mentee learn. Yes, the mentor has more years of experience, but in reality, what you see is that the mentee learns a lot. The mentor also learns. This was a girl, I thought I had energy, but I realized that the energy level of this girl and the amount of things she had her hands into was actually enormous, which was actually debarring her from actually achieving success on everything, which was part of the mentorship. But it was consistent. The fact that we were meeting consistently itself. It slowed down a bit right now, and I guess because she has a bit of a focus right now. But you see, the thing about the frequency, the objective of your needs actually helped, because we were really, really dedicated at the beginning of that mentorship program. And as you sit down with your mentor, you take notes, you listen very well, you take notes. And even in some instances, if you feel that's very important for you, you record those sessions, because there's some things you may want to go back to and then listen to again. And of course, with consent, you get what you can record those sessions. If it's not physical, even if it's physical, you can record these days with all the gadgets that we have. You ask questions. You ask the right questions. But mind you, no question is stupid. Because here, you're opening yourself up to say, look, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. Is it best for me, knowing fully well who I am? So the person starts gauging your personality, start listening to your dreams, your aspirations, and then tells you that, looking at who I'm seeing, looking at what I know about you, why don't you do it this way? And the reason why I'm saying you should do it this way is because of this. So mentors have gone through that process. They can advise you better. You too must be able to listen and understand where they're coming from, why they're saying these things. You should take your notes, make sure that your notes are well detailed, and ask the questions that you feel. Whenever you need clarifications, you are able to sit back and say, okay, is this what you're saying? Are you saying this because you think this is who I am? Because, at times people are mirrors. They can see us. As we are talking, as you are gesticulating, your mannerisms, your composure, they can say, don't go here, it's not really for you. And those are the kind of things that mentors do. They tend to, based on their experience, look at you and tell you what they feel is right. Now, they're invested in you as well, because when they spend time to sit down with you and give you that perspective that you probably don't know or you lack, they are telling you for your own benefit. They are also gaining, but they're telling you for your own benefit. So in reality, they're invested in you, but they don't have any special benefit other than the benefit of Sadaka and the fact that they want you to be successful. So when you really look at that, they are guiding you. It's best to listen to them. The investment they're putting to you in terms of time and resources, it's because they want you to be successful. So best thing as a mentee is to listen to that mentor that actually is giving you an advice. You can ask why. Why do you feel this advice is good for me? Particularly if it's something you've not thought of, So ask the questions, dig deeper, make sure you take notes, make sure there are things you can refer to, record sessions if they're necessary. These are the things that would help you. As a mentee, what endears you to your mentor is when you show that you are dedicated yourself. So a mentor tells you, at this stage in your career, for instance, I think you need to enhance yourself. And it's you to think about a professional qualification that you should go for instance. And then 1 year down the line, you've just not made up your mind as to what to do. That can be a turn-off for your mentor. So this whole relationship is a two-way street, just like Malcolm X said. Brotherhood is actually a two-way street. You don't practice it with somebody who's not ready to practice it with you, and that's very important. So when we say that we are mentorship, when we talk about mentorship, the mentee must also be ready to invest in time and resources to be able to prove to the mentor that yes, I'm ready to achieve that goal that's been set at the beginning of this program. And that's why it is very important. I say to my mentees, look, what are you seeking to achieve with this relationship? And I do have a lot of mentees. What are you seeking to achieve? If it's just that you want to get to know Bimbi Afalabi, you can actually get to know me in a couple of sessions, and that's all. But if you have a long-term relationship where I would continuously interact with you, talk to you, then you must be invested as well. And investment is when I suggest that, you know what, I see that there's something lacking in you. I see that there's something that you need to do to improve on yourself. I see that if this is your goal, these are the things that will take you there. And I see that you have a plan to taking yourself there. If you now say that, look, if you need help, we can talk about the help. If you need guidance on how to go about it, we can talk about that. But not being able or not taking on that challenge that I pose to you, or just we meet again and you say, I've not done it. And the next time I've not done it, hey, it's a turn off for me, because what it means is that you're not ready. And probably you need time to get your hearts together. So that's also something that you need to know as a mentee, that you must be determined actually to make yourself better. And when your mentor gives you advice, you're ready to take them on board. Typically what I do when I have sessions with my mentees, I also pose, I give them assignments. It may look as though it's not secondary school or university assignment. I tell people or my mentees, write down why you want to do this thing that you want to do. Articulate it. Because once I ask you that question, you must be able to give me the reasons why. And once you're giving me the reasons why, then I start addressing the reasons that you've actually come with. So I tell people to be clear in their minds as to why they want to do some certain things. Some individuals who say, I want to sit for the ICANN professional exams. Why? Are you an accountant? Oh, because a lot of my people are friends doing accounting. Is that really your career of choice? You know, those are the things you have to articulate, the reasons why you are doing something. And I say to people that if you are not invested, if you're not dedicated, sorry, the mentorship program will probably fall apart at some point. So those are some of the things that from an attitudinal perspective that you as a mentee should take on board. You must show hard work, you must show dedication, you must show passion. Passion as to that thing that you're saying you want to be. I want to do this. The reason why I've chosen you as my mentor is because we are into technology and I have love for technology. I want to be a data analyst. I want to be a data engineer. I want to do a whole lot network engineer. But then you are just sitting there, you're talking, you're giving out the buzzwords, but you're not doing any professional exams, or you are not thinking of anything like that. You're not thinking of actually advancing your career, and you want that person to mentor you. Think about it. At some point, that relationship will fall apart. It's also something that I want to talk about from an attitudinal point of view is panache. This is very tough, and I think it's one critical value that I learned in KPMG. Panache is when it's not just the way you speak, it's not just the way you talk, it's your total being, it's your complete person. And your complete person is, yes, the way you project yourself. So if you project yourself, it was fun looking at people when they were joining this program this morning. So people were on their beds and they put on their videos. If you are a mentee and you want to meet with your mentor, and your mentor is sitting down well composed in front of a computer or the phone, and you are sleeping on the bed, the panache is not there. And for me, I would say, are you as serious as I am or dedicated as I am to this program? So those are the kind of things that comes, it's your total person. And like I said, it goes beyond the way you speak, it goes beyond what you put on, your outlook. Your person must actually speak to a Muslim in the true sense of it. And you know that when you read about the attributes of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the fact that he was a very neat person, well-groomed individual, and for us females, the way we should actually project ourselves, all this put together make you somebody that a mentor, when he looks or she looks at you, then says, this is the kind of person I want to have a conversation with. So your total person, your composure, the way you appear to people must be good. and in particular to your mentor, so that the mentor can say, yes, I want to take this person from this point to that point. It is very important that we understand very well that as Muslims, we can't afford not to have panache. And I'm not saying you should be expensive, but what I'm saying, your outlook, but I'm saying is that get your acts together so that as a person, people look at you and they say, yes, this is a true representation of a Muslim and the true representation of the deen. And that for me is part of the things that would endear your mentor to you. You know, these are real critical issues that I say. I've seen quite a lot of people, and I know the difference when I see somebody who is so structured versus somebody who is not structured. I see the way I even go on, what is happening, how do I help you, what other things are you thinking of? At times I follow up just because I'm interested in that person, and I see that coming because of the way the person has actually presented herself or himself to me. And so that panache is something that you should also work on as a mentee. Always being ready, you know, for your sessions. You don't jump right into the session and then you are struggling in your head. Hey, what was the last thing you said? When the last time we met, what was it that she said I should do? That is not right. You know, as much as mentorship sessions can be as informal as possible, you should, as a mentee, be ready. Your mentor should not be more ready than you are, because you are the ones actually seeking the guidance. You are the one that needs the help more than the mentor. So it's clearly in your, I mean, Engineer Nasser said you drive this entire program session. So if you have a session and you are the ones who is scattered, hey, how would you make that session actually so much of a success? So those are the kind of things, again, from an attitudinal point of view, how a mentoring session will work, you know, become successful, why it actually lies a lot with you. Now, one thing that I also want to say before I open the floor for questions is what not to do with your mentor. Your mentor is your guardian. Your mentor is like a big brother, a big sister, somebody who is there to let you know what you should do, guide you through what you want to become. Now, you should not take it for granted and should not assume because you have a mentor, then you are now that person's responsibility. You should know that there is, unless the mentor brings you into our inner fold and then just says, oh, you know what, I'm ready to do all this for you. Do not, from the beginning, assume that you are now that person's responsibility. Know very well that as a mentee, your mentor's responsibility is not financial to you. And that's one message I want to leave on the table here, that do not make it that the first time you spoke about, you discuss your objective, the next thing is that, well, actually, I want to tell you that I don't have money to do masters and I want to do masters, so I need you to sponsor me. That is not, that's not the aim of a mentorship program. And you should understand that typically that's also a turn off for mentors, because you are not, you've seen that mentor, you want to take advantage as a mentee, and you should not do that. Financial assistance can come along the way, no doubt, but you must have established that rapport. You must have developed that relationship to a point where you are certain, it is certain that yes, you've built that a solid relationship, and then you're saying, as much as I'd love to go for a master's, or as much as I'd love to do this professional course, I'm cash strapped and I won't be able to do this. And then your mentor can say, okay, there are ways in which you can do this, it can help you financially. But overall, that should not be the first thing that you're going to do. So there are those don'ts. Really, doing a mentorship program, you are not to do things that would make your mentor feel, wow, this is not the intent of this program. You also need to respect your mentor's time. So if, for instance, you've planned a meeting for Sunday for 10 o'clock, ensure that 9:45 you're ready. You're just waiting for 10 to come. and then you join the meeting. Now, it would not be nice for you to be, for your mentor to follow up with you at 10:15. That's not nice. If for any reason you know that you're not going to be able to make that time, give sufficient notice to your mentor so that your mentor would then know that, oh, then I can go ahead and do other things. Those are the kind of don'ts that you should respect your mentor's time. You should not assume that financially your mentor is responsible for you. Your mentor is there to guide you. It may get to a point where your mentor decides to give you financial assistance, but in reality, your mentor is not, responsible for you. One thing, I think I've said this, just to wrap up before we go into the question and answer session, is dedication, hard work. You have to be dedicated. So if you happen to be my mentee, if I start with you, I will tell you for certain, by the time we have a year of sessions, you shouldn't be the same person that I've met. There must have been an addition to you, because I'm highly driven. I'm a highly driven person. I believe in success. I believe in quality. I believe in excellence. I want you also to be like that. I will push you. So if I push you by saying, tell me, what degrees do you have? And you tell me that you have OND and stroke HND, I'll push you. When do you want to get into your BSc? When do you want to have a degree? Because having a degree, as you know, in this country makes a lot of difference. So within a year, if you've not started, you must have a plan to when you're going to make that change. If it's a master's that you want to do or postgraduate diploma, there should be some certifications that you need to achieve. I am that type of person, and some mentors are. So there's going to be a push. And if it is a total person, this panache thing I've spoken to, there's subtle things that would also pass across to you. These are the things that I think you should do to make yourself a better person. And whatever it is, whatever that objective is, I would actually push you to ensuring that you become successful at it. And I'll give you another example. I've had a mentee who has told me, I've had issues, passing interviews. It's just been difficult. I don't know why. What am I getting wrong? And this person is not just about not having the right qualifications. It's just that it's that panache. It wasn't there. So, and immediately this person told me, I said, well, it's obvious. If this is the way you go for interviews, it's going to be tough for somebody to actually pass you and you scale through that interview process. These are the things that you need to do, and you really need to be dedicated to making that change. So, like I said, you must be ready for that push, for that advice, for that the conversations that you're going to have. It's not for the fun of it. It's for you to make you a better person. You must be ready to accept them. If you have a disagreement or a differing opinion, share your views. Be open. That's why your mentor is there to listen to you. And if you say, but I see it this other way, and these are the reasons why I see this, and the person will be able to listen to you and also advise you why he or she feels otherwise, or aligns with you and says, okay, you may have a point here. Okay, so let's think of it in another way. There's a whole lot to do with you as a mentee. The success of a mentorship program actually lies with you. The mentor will guide you, will make it happen for you. But a whole lot lies with you as a mentee to ensure that the connection is there between you and your mentor. You are dedicated to the entire session. You are dedicated to the advice that you give to you. You make sure you act on those steps that your mentor has advised you to. And, if you can make a whole lot out of it. I know, and I'll give you another example of my own career before I made partner. And for those of you who know how it works in professional service firm, it's a tedious process, rising to the career to become a partner. I, as an individual, made sure that I walked around in rooms. I want to make partner. Tell me what it would take me to become a partner. Never be shy to aim for the sky. Never be shy to to say, I want to achieve. Never be shy to say, I want to achieve success. I want to achieve excellence. It's within your right. That's actually why, as Muslims, immigration is permitted for us, so that if you feel that there's an opportunity somewhere better for you, you can immigrate there. But the truth about it is, you can't just, let me not digress with immigration. Whatever it is that you decide on, make sure that you're striving for excellence. And what I did was to go around to ask for, through the ones that I feel I could talk to, tell me what it would take me to achieve this. And I drove that process. And people, when they saw that this one is very determined, this one wants to achieve, they'll give you that time. They would create that time for you. That is it about a mentor-mentee relationship. The driver of that program is really with the mentee. And that's why I'm here to tell you that be determined that this old program, whoever is paired with you as your mentor, and you take on that driver's seat and you make it a success. Jazakumullah, and thank you so much. I'm open for questions right now.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. And it's just like you mentoring me already, and just having the opportunity to also have you speak with us, including myself, is an opportunity and is an inspiration for all of us, be it the male gender or the female gender. And at that, we are going to move swiftly to taking questions. It's going to be very fast because I've been notified that other group they are into their workshop and almost done with it. Before they crash us here, let's quickly have our questions. If you have any question, kindly signify with your hands up. Let's take them. Okay, thank you. Kolawole said the session is very insightful. Thank you so much. Do we have any question? Okay, I think we do not have any question. We do not have any question. Thank you so much, Ma, for having you. Apologies for the glitch in reading out your profile. The way it was sent to me, I had to start figuring out.
I think Hamza hands up.
Whose hand?
Hamza, one Hamza.
Okay, Hamza and Olowoyo Biojo Mufta. Okay, Hamza, can you make it very quick, please? Thank you very much. Go on.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Now, I actually Jazakumullah khairan for the mentor. I actually listened carefully to everything she said, but
can you speak up? I think. Can you speak up?
To make emphasis on okay. I want to actually emphasize on the fact when the mentor said the mentee ought to be the driver for driving this particular program for its success. Ma, can it be other way around?
Okay, let me. Okay.
Whereby the mentor can achieve particular point of I'm actually speaking at the point of students. Now, we are students. We are always buckled up. In fact, we don't even know when we actually lost. But then we had a mentor there who we always call, have you done it? Have you done? And alhamdulillah, it even moved faster because I have someone who is checking on me. Left on me, I would have been forgotten because I'm so engrossed. So can it actually be the other way around, whereby the mentor who can be the person who is driving the mentee, rather than the mentee be the drive now?
Yes. So I don't know whether Brother Abdullah Karim would have loved to take all the questions, but let me quickly dive into this. Yes, it can be. But what you see in such instances is that the person knows you a whole lot. The person understands your circumstance. So the person already can envisage that you are very busy and that if he does not follow up with you, and I suppose the person is a male, he doesn't follow up with you, then you may actually get lost and not handle, the entire thing may break apart. So your mentor can actually take on that driver's seat. And in some instances, I've done this actually for people that I've also invested in because I have that level of relationship already. But if, for instance, it's the start of a mentoring session, I don't know you, I've never met you, I'm just listening to you. it's going to be tough for me to be the one to follow up with you. And you need to recognize that. So it is possible to be the other way around. But at the beginning of the relationship that you're creating from a mentoring perspective, the mentee certainly must be the driver. Okay. I hope that helps.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, Ma. I think we can have Lowo Yobiojo Mufta. Please quickly make it very short. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's Olowo Yobiojo.
Olowo Yobiojo. Thank you. It does not have the AMI on it. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. That's good.
Yes, go on. That's on the lighter note. Go on.
My question is, first one is, many of the time you don't have time for the mentee. Like I'm a mentee to this person, and then many of the times I say I want to reach him or I want to check on him. I want to discuss with him. You don't have time. How do we balance that? Then what should the mentee do at that point? That's the first one. Then the second one is, at what extent can a mentee sacrifice for the mentorship process to the mentor? Sometimes the mentors might have some things that want to do. The person might be skilled in that. So to what extent, what can you advise that? I don't know if you get my question.
If I understand perfectly, you're talking about what happens when, as a mentee, you don't have time. And then I think the other question is, what happens if it's the mentor that doesn't have the time? I hope that's correct.
No. So the first question is, when the mentor did not have time to when you are reaching out to the mentor and he's saying I'm busy, you don't have time for someone. So what? Then the second question is now that, okay, we now have someone now have another mentor entirely that will always want to do something for him or her. Okay, help me do this, help me do this, help me do this. So to what extent can one do the sacrifice?
Okay, let me answer the first question clearly, because I think I got that. So when your mentor doesn't have the time and you are always following up, sir, ma, uncle, auntie, when can we meet? I would love us to meet. I have something very important to discuss with you. And I'm thinking of this weekend. You know, I typically tell my own mentees, don't try to reach me during the week. It's going to be tough for you to get my time. I'm very busy. Weekends, I will try to help you out. And I make it very early, after Subi. So by 7, you know, I said it's 7. Once I'm done with my Subi prayers, before I get into the day on a weekend, let's talk. Because once I get into the day as well, is either I'm resting, I have other things planned, then I don't have that time. You need to try to work with your mentor's time. So you need to, when you start off, you know, the program, the sessions, you need to ask what time works best for you. Somebody can say, well, it's late at night. Work towards that time and make yourself available. So maybe what's happening for you is because the person you're checking at the time when it's not convenient for that individual. Continuously follow up with that individual. Ask for the time that's convenient for him or her. Once you are able, once he sees or she sees that, hey, my mentee is worried about you, she will make up that time for you. She'll make sure that she gives you time, because she's committed to the you know, to acting as your mentor. So what I would say is that first and foremost, check to find out the convenient timing, work with that timing, and then of course you'll be able to you know, achieve what what you want, you set out. What I do at the time is that I make sure that I don't fix more than 2 sessions for my different mentees on a single day. Because once I have too many of them, I don't know, I may be on a session with somebody, I plan just 30 minutes, I plan just an hour, and it can go on. I've had a session with somebody for about 2.5 hours. It can go for that long. It depends on the issues that you're discussing. So it is very important that you check in with your mentor often. And if the mentor is not available, then of course, that's why GMP is there. You have to escalate at some point to let them know that, well, I've done my best. My mentor is just not responding. Maybe you can help me out to get my mentor to respond to me. Your second question was something I didn't get properly. You have 2 different mentors. One actually is available, provides assistance. The other does not. You still, if that is it, if that's your question, different mentors, different styles, different. There's no fixed rule. So what happens is that because somebody is doing something for you doesn't mean the other person has to do that same thing for you. But I can tell you, both mentors are probably giving you things that would, enable you and make you a better person, over time. So do not compare your mentors. Try not to see them as that they should be doing the same things for you. If you look at those two individuals and what it is that they're giving out, you'll probably see that they're giving you solid advice. You're giving you different approaches to things that would actually get you focus on your goal. Are these people pushing me, getting me there? If they are in their different ways, thumbs up to you. Otherwise, then you probably would lean more towards that person that's making you achieve your goal better. I hope I did get your question well.
Thank you very much, Ma. I think at that point, we are going to leave the question and answer segment. I would quickly want to advise that if you still have other questions for Mrs. Bingpe, please drop it in the chat box. She's still very much with us. Please, Ma, please bear with us. She's going to answer your question in the chat box so we can save more time. And on that note, I'm going to invite Mr. Otubu, who is going to be taking us through the workshop section. Mr. Otubu, can you signify if you're around?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, you can carry on.
Okay, good. So I'm going to try and share my screen just to provide something to look at while we have this session. Okay, Ablakim, please confirm you can see my slides.
Yes, I can. Very clear.
Excellent. Again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers and sisters. I'm happy to be speaking with you. It's been an interesting session from Engineer Nasir Giwa and our most recent speaker, Mrs. Bingpe. I think we've had a very thorough discussion about what mentorship entails and how we should go about it being mentees. So my task here is to coordinate a bit of a workshop around what the expectations of the GMP is for you on this mentoring program. I hope you are following me, and I think it would be nice for you to have your pen and paper and you can take some notes around what you should be doing. Majority of the points I'm going to be noting have been raised in the various discussion we've had before, but I'm just going to emphasize a few of them. The first thing you must note is that this mentorship program that is planned for now, we have a time frame that we are looking at for 8 months. Our intention is to run this initial edition for 8 months and then carry out an evaluation of how it went. So we'll be having multiple sessions as we go on, and then by the 8-month mark, we will look at what we have achieved for each individual mentee and the mentors, and then we can see what we have done well, take note of how to improve them, and then the things that we have not been able to achieve, then we'll see how we'll strategize on how to do that. That might also provide another opportunity for us to either move around different mentees to different mentors or make other changes that we might like to do. The other thing we should also note is that our expectations goes along with what was earlier mentioned, that each mentee should try and schedule at least a contact session with their mentor at least once a month. This is very essential. I mean, the main idea about mentoring is for you to have scheduled interaction with your mentor, and then you get to agree on what you need to do, and then you go and implement them. You come back for feedbacks. And if you are not able to do that, if you don't have periodic engagement, then it's difficult for you to track, and you might not be able to get feedback on your performance.
Now, kindly leave your slide and slide show so that I can be like that. Thank you.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Can you see that now? Please confirm if you can see the slideshow.
Yes, it is. Yes, you can move on.
All right. Okay, so the other thing I would like to also emphasize is that there is we are planning to have an engagement group where the mentees will be in a single group and we can interact between each other, and the organizers of this program would also be there, and it will provide you an opportunity to relate with the GMP and give feedback on whatever challenges you are having. But majorly, your interaction will be with your mentor, and your feedback should be about your learning from the engagement and how you intend to improve yourself from there. The feedback that you're going to be giving GMP is on the program management side, where, okay, so these are some of the issues you are noticing, or you are trying to change your mentorship, or you're having challenges getting across to your mentor. Those are what the platform will provide you for. And then in some cases, you would also be able to learn from the experience of your other mentees who are relating with other mentors. That session will be available for you through that platform. And finally, we would have a session, as I mentioned, in May 2024 to look at everything we are going to would have done throughout the period. Now, I'm going to have a brief discussion on what we expect you to do. And again, I would mention that our speakers have already gone into this a lot. So one of the things that I'm going to start with is feedback is very important. And those feedback, you need to learn that they are meant to improve you. My mentors used to tell me that feedback is a gift. When something is identified in a mentee, the mentor tries to look at how it can be improved, and then they will give you this information. You as a mentee is supposed to consider this as a gift, because that is the entire essence of you being in that relationship. Those feedback, you need to be open to receiving them and be committed to using them to improve yourself. As has been mentioned earlier, there are going to be situations where you might not agree with what you have been advised to do, but then there are ways for you to manage that it doesn't degenerate into issues or anything beyond mentoring. The next is to listen carefully and try to pick the insights that you get from your mentors. They are most likely going to be people that are in the same career path as you are, or slightly related to what you are doing. So they have the advice and the insights to what you'll be experiencing where you are. So be ready to listen to the advice and be ready to learn from it. And in consonance with that is the need for you to ask questions. This is one of the ways by which your mentors will get to know you. You would introduce yourself, of course, but then the questions you ask will show the areas where you need their support. So be free to ask them questions about what you need to learn or what they have for you and how you can improve yourself. Then also try to find a way to go beyond what you might have planned in the first place. Seek for opportunities for you to do more than maybe the targets that your mentors give you. Look for opportunities for you to get to go beyond whatever target you agree with your mentors. Those are the things that actually show that you are committed, and it's going to improve the interest of your mentors in you. And then finally, I would advise you to look for opportunities to give your mentors feedback too on where you have gained the most in your discussions. If you have a session for an hour and then there are a few points that hit home, or there are some ways that the mentors addressed you that you found most impactful to you, it will be very nice for you to highlight this as a way to show appreciation and as a way to indirectly inform your mentors to focus more on that, because those will be the ways that you learn and that you are more disposed to. And those would actually be something that your mentor will be able to reiterate and help you to improve. Just as we have those, we also have a few points on what you should avoid. I mean, the biggest I will start with is know that whatever you receive from your mentors are just advice, and control yourself from being defensive. In certain cases, you might get some feedback that you find a bit difficult to accept. One of the things we've learned in our culture as Yorubas, apologies to non-Yorubas here, is that it's the frank talk that are mostly useful. Those that are mostly filled with jokes and laughs might not be the best, right? So when you get the hard truth and the hard knocks from your mentors, take them as advice, take them as point of reflections for yourself, and then don't be defensive. Don't say, that's what they always say. Look at them as gift for you to use. In addition, this is a mentor-mentee relationship. It's not a place for you to find solutions to financial problems or issues around gifts and rewards. No, the relationship in this case is to help you progress, to give you advices on how to move forward, and to show you the experience of those who have done what you are doing before. In some cases, as advised earlier by the speakers, your relationship can develop to the point where you are able to benefit financially and even otherwise from that relationship. However, let that come naturally. Let your relationship progress to that level. Don't expect your mentor to provide you with transportation money to go and do whatever you have agreed to do. I mean, those are not the essence of this relationship. This is supposed to be where you prove yourself. Again, do not feel entitled to the time and the attention of your mentors. In my last slide, I'm going to try and discuss how you should go around fixing appointments with your mentors. However, don't feel entitled to what they have. Recognize that these people are professionals who are probably as busy, if not more busy than you are. And they are going to have multiple commitments to other people too. So in some cases, they might request that you shift appointments, which I believe our mentors would give you prior notice of. But when this happens, be conscious of how you react to it and don't take it beyond what it is. They will definitely provide alternatives for you so that your needs can be addressed. And finally, do not breach their confidence. In Madam Bingpe's lecture, she gave a lot of examples from our personal experience. She stopped short of mentioning names of those she has related with, just to drive home the point she was trying to make. And you will see this when you start interacting with our mentors too. They will tell you things in confidence and they will share some of their personal experience with you. These are things that are given to you to improve you, not for you to spread to other people that I have not permitted you to do. If you feel that there are some information that they have shared with you that you really need to spread to other people, you must take their permission before you do that. Either they have shared materials with you, or they have given you stories from their own life, or they have mentioned instances pertaining to whatever they are doing with you. You need to take their express permission for you to be able to use that elsewhere. And this is part of what you need to have in mind as a good mentee. And finally, this particular slide is going to give you an idea of how we want you to start. You see, because you have listened to 2 speakers and this workshop session, there is a tendency for you to believe that, wow, immediately I get my mentor, we are going to just dive into it. We are going to do this, we are going to do that. And you want to start rolling, start advising me and all that. But that might not be the best way. You see, stating and agree on your task and target beforehand is the most important thing for you to do on your first introductory session. When you first meet your mentor, you would have a session where you would both meet each other. Then you would have to determine what are your interests in that mentorship relationship at this particular point. Is it a career thing? Is it an academic thing? Or are you looking for life experience and all that? So when you have that agreement between the two of you, then you are going to move to what are the issues that can challenge this mentorship relationship. Both of you have commitment, either in the family front or at your workplaces or whatever fora that you might be already engaged in. You are creating another engagement that will take your time. So both of you need to understand your individual commitment so that you would have less of disappointments in your relationship. Then you also want to be clear with your mentor that, okay, this and this are what I want to achieve through this relationship. And your mentor would also tell you this and these are my expectations for you. And then both of you would then commit to certain things. When are we going to meet? How often are we going to meet? What is the nature of our meeting? Will it be online? Will it be physical? Are you meeting in my house? Are we going to meet at a public place? You would all agree on all those things. And then you would then try to document and drive it. And has been advised, this mentorship relationship is going to depend a lot on your own motivation as a mentee. And then your mentor would eventually see your motivation and match that your commitment and be able to take you even beyond what you would have expected. Then we also expect that you would note things that you expect to go well, and you would note things that you would see if your relationship is not going well. And then you would all agree on how to handle it. Okay, so you would have a discussion like, if we miss 2 meetings consecutively, then we'll realize immediately that we have a challenge around time. Then how are we going to address it? Are we going to make sure that our next meeting will be physical, or do we want to invite the organizers of the program into it? You would have all that agreement so that it's going to be easy for you to know what is the next step you should take if your mentoring relationship is not moving the way you expect. Also, you need to also address how you want to receive feedback. Do you want your mentor to always call you every time you miss an appointment, or send you an email? Or is your mentor okay with you calling them during the weekdays or during the weekend to give you feedback? Will it be delayed to the meeting, or can they call you anytime they have any information for you? All those need to be defined, and then you now try to work it. At the end of the day, what we expect that between you and your mentor, it is already clear to you after the first 2 meetings how the 8-month program would turn out at the end of the day. We want you to be clear on, say, okay, at the end of the 8 months, this is what success will look like for both of us. And then you would have run through a successful mentoring program as we envisage. I know I've not been exhaustive. There are several other issues that probably you need to know, but because it's going to be this is a workshop session, I'm going to open the mic and listen to what you have to say. What are the tips you think would be useful for you and your other mentees, and how you think you can best structure your mentor-mentee relationship for the maximum success? So, mentees, over to you. I can also see that the mentors have joined us again, so it might also be good for the mentors also to so you can raise your hands, or you can put your comments on the chat. Okay, Madam Ablakim, confirm that I'm still with you.
Yes, we are still on the same page. We are waiting for our mentees to raise up their hands, and I think we have one hand up already. We have Need. Need's hand is up. Need, do you have any question, or you want to chip in something on how you think you can or you expect from your mentor? Please make it very brief. Go on.
Yes, I have.
Please, can you be more audible? Can you speak closely to your phone?
My name is Tijani Shakir Olani. My question is that when are the mentors going to be so that we assess them? Okay, that is one. Second is that question is meant for Madam Bimpe and at the same time for the coordinators, you people, that when Madam Bimpe was discussing, I wanted to ask him about this question because I believe that the big company, they have a kind of buffer fee in terms of every other part of career, which I like to have a kind of somebody that is coming from that kind of career, you understand, to be part of my mentor. My question is that, do you have anybody from that field at your own reach, I believe, but I would like you to suggest one for me. Thank you.
Okay, so Ni, I missed your first question. So can you quickly just very shortly, briefly repeat the first question?
Okay. The first question is, when is the mentee to start? When are we going to meet our mentors?
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Okay, so that's a good question. After this session, as I mentioned, we are going to put all the mentees and the mentors in a group, and then you are going to be assigned to individual mentors. When you apply to join this session, you fill the form indicating your interest, showing your career path, and what sort of expectations you have. Using that information, we are going to pair you. Within the next few days, you will be assigned to groups, and then you will be matched with your mentors. And then the relationship will then progress from there between you and whoever you are assigned to as your mentor. We would use the information that you have given to us. The question that's addressed to Madam Bimpe Folabi, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I think, yes, it is possible for you to get mentors out of this program that GMP is organizing as well within the Big Four. And I got to know about GMP through a colleague at one of the Big Four. So there are members of GMP that have worked in such organizations. I can tell you for sure, looking at the list of the mentors that have been collated by GMP already, what you're looking for, you will certainly find from any of those mentors. So first and foremost, focus on this program. Take advantage of what GMP is making available to you. A free program, you're not going to pay. Just make use of the mentor that's going to be assigned to you. Like Engineer Nasira said, you can actually have more than a mentor. If you still decide that you want more than one mentor, yes, there are people that can assist you in that regard. Just talk to the organizers and they will help. You can reach out to me as well and I can help you.
Excellent. I think the last question I have is one of the on the chat box. Can we invite people who are not part of this session? Okay, that's a good question. What I'm gonna say is, once you are in the groups you have, there is we will share the forms through which you applied for this session, and if there is still additional opportunities for mentors and mentee relationship to be created, then we would inform you in that group for you to spread and invite your friends to join. Because we have done some background matching of people already, so it might, I can't say would be that is still possible now, but I'll wait for information when you are in the group. Okay, so because of time, I will take Asia and then hand over back to Hakim. Go ahead, Asia Abdulakim.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Yeah, okay. I'd like to ask, I think this can go to both of you, Mrs. Gameplay or yourself. So would you rather a very close relationship between the mentor-mentee or just like an official mentor-mentee relationship? And do you think the official mentor-mentee relationship would still give that effect you want, the goal we're trying to achieve? Would you think it's going to be very effective, or a very close-knit relationship has to be so that it can work?
Okay, Asia, I would quickly say, using my own experience, that usually this sort of relationship starts a bit formally, and then it's going to evolve in the direction that you push it towards. If you make yourself available and responsive to your mentor, they are likely to offer you a bit more than you would get in a formal relationship. So it's going to be dependent on how responsive and how open you are, and then your mentors will take it along the line. I believe you would gain a bit more in a flexible relationship. Maybe I don't want to call it informal. I believe you gain a bit more from there, but allow your relationship to progress in that line. You can't force those things. It's going to come out through how you respond to your mentor and how you drive the relationship, how you respond to your commitments. So I think that's what you should focus on. Try and see what your mentor expects and then relate with them with that. And I also say that we are going to leave the door open if you don't get enough of what you expect from your mentor. As been advised, this is not a box stop relationship. You're going to have opportunity to have more than one mentors, maybe even outside this program. And then you might even have the opportunity to move around within after the first initial period that we are setting up. So just be flexible, be open to whatever you get from your mentor, and then show commitment. And I can assure you, the crop of people that we have put together as mentors are people who will be open to give to you whatever you expect from them, and as much as will be useful to you. I don't know if Madam Bimpe is available to give more on that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother. I think you've done a good job of it. There's one Yoruba proverb, Obotoba Shipani Yengbe, is the mentor that is actually very open to the mentee that is very open to the mentor that would, make this relationship evolve. That's the word my brother has used, to get to a point where it is actually at an informal level. Typically, like you said, starts at a formal level. You're just getting to know yourselves. So there's that time that you have to build rapport, and that rapport building actually, helps, to get to know each other, to get to break the ice, break down the barriers between the relationships. But as it evolves, as you get to know yourself better, it grows into an informal relationship. And at that point, the value that you really want to get from a mentor really comes out fully. Yes, if it's too formal, then there's that wall between the two of you and you may not get the value. But it all depends on you being the driver of this relationship, ensuring that you show up on time, ensuring that you are there, you give feedbacks, you are giving updates to your mentor, you are following up with your mentor, you are always there, you're always doing the things that you ought to do, you're showing the passion, you're showing the dedication. I mean, then the value that you get from the program and the sessions would be fantastic for you. So start off the way you want to start off, and then you move it will move to the point where you really want it to be informal. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Madam Ablakim, over to you.
Thank you very much for that workshop session, and I think you've been able to take us through everything around what we are actually here for. And I believe that in the last 3 hours, our mentees, they've been able to have a good insight into what we are here for and what we actually have in store for them. So without wasting time, because I noticed that we already have the mentors all joined back in this general group. So the next thing is just going to be for us to have general information and closing session. To take the general information, basically, I'm going to be calling on Architect Latifa Olajide, who is going to be taking us through that information session. Over to you now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, so the information I have is that after today, we are going to do a profile matching, and then we will match mentors and mentees. At the same time, we have already opened a WhatsApp group for everybody who is participating. So you would have got the invite link in your email. when you got the invite link for this for this Zoom. So you just click on it and you join. However, if you didn't get it, please do let me know. My number is on the flyer, and then I would send it to you. So on that platform group, it's just to pass on whatever further information and also to share for us to be able to ask questions and get responses, inshallah. And then also, like, if you do not know, this is like an 8 months program. Although we've had some discussion about whether it is too long or whether we should make it longer. People are thinking maybe a 6 months would be better so that we can have like 2 cycles in a year. So, but this is a maiden one, so let's even start with this. You'll be hearing from us in terms of pairing a mentor to a mentee, and also we expect you to join the further group for further information. Jazakallah khairan. Professor Reagba, I believe, will be giving us a vote of thanks. Sorry. So that's the information I have. Sorry, I have a block truth.
Thank you very much, Architect Latifa. And like you mentioned, we are going to be having, we are going to be having Professor Reagba take us through the vote of thanks. Over to you, Prof.
Oh, thank you very much. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praises belongs to Almighty Allah, who has made this wonderful maiden edition of the mentor-mentee program to hold successfully. Alhamdulillah, very successful. I have been inspired despite my own experience, and I want to believe you have all been inspired. We want to thank sincerely our resource persons for making this program a huge success. We are indeed very grateful. Alhaji Nasir Giwa, Jazakumullah Khairan, for that exposition. I want to thank my sister, Ajia Bing Peya Folabi. I hope I got it right. Jazakumullah Khairan, for a fantastic session. We thank the organizers. We thank Dr. Ogunmoyiwa, a marriage counselor. I didn't know he was also excellent when it comes to mentor-mentee relationship. Jazakumullah khairan, even though we didn't have much time, but the little that you gave to us, we really enjoyed it. We thank other resource persons for making this a huge success. Those in the IT, Jazakumullah khairan. The organizers, I don't need to thank you. I only will tell you that the reward for hard work is more work. So this relationship building has started, mentor-mentee relationship has started, and we owe ourselves to maximize the use, the benefits of this program, so that at the end of the day, 1 year from now, 2 years from now, just like Engineer Fait Olajide said, that it was a life changer for him. He was a mentee at that time, and within 6 months, his life changed for good. I pray, Almighty Allah, that your life will change for good based on this mentor-mentee relationship that we're embarking upon. Once again, thank you all for attending. May Allah reward us all abundantly. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much, Prof, for that vote of thanks. And at that moment, before I call on Mr. Saeed Akinrade to give us the closing prayer, I'm going to just encourage our mentees to keep in touch. All those notes that you have jotted down as to how to relate with your mentor, I think it is important to always read them and go through them, go over them before you have meeting with your mentor from time to time, and be ready to help them to help you, because at times the mentors are ready to help, but and just like the adage that was recited by Mrs. Apoladi, that mentors are busy, they don't make yourself available, it becomes difficult for them to really help you. So let us stay in touch, let us follow up, let us be ready to work together to achieve the best. Inshallah, make it easy for us. And that has been the Maiden edition of the mentorship program of youth and build of Muslim professionals. Permit me to allow Mr. Saeed Akinadi to give us the closing.
Alhamdulillah, we give thanks to Allah Azza wa Jal, was made this session a fruitful one and a successful one. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward our intent and make the manifestation of our intent more fruitful and also more rewarding for those who will benefit from it and those who will offer their own experience. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our journey in life more fruitful and accept our prayers in her ramification and also give us a good ending at the end of our journey of life. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our prayers and also accept all our deeds. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد سبحانك اللهم ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So thank you all for taking your time, and thank you to Engineer Nasser Kiwa and also Mr. GMP Apoladi and also Dr. Sulaiman for taking us through this session. And again, thank you to Engineer Faid for taking the workshop session in the mentorship breakout, as well as Mr. Tibu for taking that of the mentees. And also, thank you to Architect Latifa and all other members of the planning committee who have made this event the fruitful one. And again, thank you to Aminat Adams for moderating this session with me. And also thank you to myself and to you too. Thank you for joining. And again, thank you to our technical support, Lookcom Informative. Thank you for your time and your support. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan.
Alaikum salam wa
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, everyone.
Barakallahu fiikum.